Hello, 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 and welcome, welcome, welcome to another edition of It Happened One Night, part of the YouTube Street Guide, presented by your girl, Shy Rosalind. So, tonight, it's kind of a catch up episode. We're going to talk about this church sector crash out. I have a flow chart. Um, yeah, we've had a bit of crashing out, upset, um, unrest, and all sorts of stuff going on. And as of the date that this is being posted, it's still going on a little bit. There's been some other stuff happening. The Kojic Church has had their convocation, and there's still a bit more controversy coming from that. But I will let the YouTube theologians discuss that. So, before we get into the details, of course, we have to do some housekeeping. The usual copyright disclaimer. Under the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commentating, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing, and so on and so forth. And as always, this presentation is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Respectful comments are always welcome, likes are free, sharing is caring, and to reach me, my IG is below. And if you are so inclined and you feel like throwing up some, coffee money my way, my Cash App is at the bottom of the screen. So, once upon a time, this game of chess all started with a $49.99 super chat that someone gave to William McCrae III in December of 2024. Apparently, there were some rumors going around that there was an issue between um, Thanos and Bishop Jordan. There were rumors swirling that the two were no longer collaborating, and someone dropped a super chat on William McCrae's live, and of course, William McCrae, being William McCrae, took the bait and, well, I won't say he spilled all the beans, but he did confirm that there was trouble in the camp. And that's how it all started. Now, it took a few months for things to wind through the YouTube streets, and Thanos claimed that the mentorship contract that he had with Bishop Jordan had come to an end, and he had decided not to renew. That was the original reason he gave. Then, after the election and all that happened, Thanos put out that he had seen, there's a photo of Bishop Jordan at a White House faith event. So he surmised that Bishop Jordan had either supported or voted for number 47, so therefore he couldn't in good conscience um, support him or be a part of Bishop Jordan's camp any longer. That's what he said. So, and that's kind of what everybody went with until back in the fall of earlier this fall, St. James sent a message to Messi Manasseh Jordan asking about a contribution that his father had made to Virginia University and HBCU. within the response confirming the confirmation, Manasseh also made a mention that the family was no longer willing to participate in online blogging discussions because of the disparaging comments that Thanos made towards his father, when in fact the Jordan family, had taken Thanos in when he was basically, and as they say, um, sleeping on the floor. Shots fired. So Thanos got a little upset about that. He came out and said a few more things, and it kind of went quiet for a moment, but just a moment, because the Matthew Stevenson situation popped up, where, as I discussed in an earlier video, Matthew Stevenson was renting space from Bishop Jordan or his ministries, and had reneged on his rent. And apparently, according to Bishop Jordan, Matthew Stevenson left the vacated, and was almost $500,000 in back rent was due. Then then it started to heat up, because Thanos was on the Thais report, and there were issues. Actually, Thais had taken notes from some episodes of Bishop Jordan talking with St. James, and he relayed the notes on a live with Larry. Thanos, because Larry don't want his name mentioned. And he relayed some things to Thanos, which began to upset him greatly while on the live, and he basically crashed out. He said that if Bishop Jordan ever mentioned his name again, he was going to reveal information about his family. He had threatened to go to discuss things that his wife didn't know about. Mm. Sorry, y'all. I'm getting over cold. To discuss things that his wife, apparently Mrs. Jordan, did not know about. And that particular live was moved to a paywall, and then it was deleted at Thanos' request. However, there is someone out there that actually has captured that live and replayed it on their own channel. So it is out there if you want to see the original Crashout. So it happened twice. Thais did his notations on 2 episodes and relayed what he thought was valid to Thanos, and Thanos crashed out not once but twice. So Thanos ended up leaving the United States for a period of time, was in Ghana and then Dubai. What he was doing there, nobody knows for sure. He said he was working on projects. Who knows? Now, in the meantime, the Jordans made contact with St. James again to basically do a couple more episodes with St. James. um, offering prophecies for seed, as they normally do, and it began discussing the content creator summit that the Jordans wanted to do. But it all started with a $49.99 super chat. So here are the players. Things may change, but these are the main players. You have Thanos, and I'm going from right to left. Thanos, William McRae, Thais of the official Thais, whatever he calls it, the official Thais show or whatever it is. Bernard Jordan, Bishop Bernard Jordan, and Prophet Manasseh Jordan. Sometimes they call him Messy Manasseh. St. James, King Jives, and Mad Church Disease. Now, I'll explain why I included Mad Church Disease on the players list. He is not a fan of Bishop Jordan, but I included him on the players list for a reason. So, the crash outs, which occurred over the space of about 2 weeks, made things spread like wildfire. There were new commentators that started popping up, some that have been doing the church circuit for quite some time. They stepped up their coverage. I mean, there were videos on top of videos and lives on top of lives. Y'all, I could not keep up at all. Folks that I had never heard of before, like AT2, um Ms. Cruiser, King Payne. I had heard of him before, and I really only watched like one or two of his videos. I never really got into him or King Jives. As a matter of fact, I kind of really didn't follow King Jives that very closely. But of course, with the crash outs, I figured let me go to these two. And King Payne is the one that has the original crash out video, and um, King Jives was pulled into the fray because Bishop Jordan visited his channel, as well as I think he visited King Payne as well. He visited William McRae, and I think he also stopped by Marcellus's channel, Mad Church Disease, um, and he proposed basically a gathering of creators. Um, the bottom line, speaking as an audience member, I have no skin in the game. I have nothing to gain from any of this. Um, but what seems to be happening is Bishop Jordan wants to expand his ministry. He has his ministry. It's all just about all online. He doesn't have, as far as I know, he does not have a physical church. Everything for him is online. He is a mentee, or was a mentee of Reverend Ike, and if you've seen any of my previous videos, I did do one regarding Reverend Ike. The original prosperity minister, selling profits for a profit, um, and basically wealth is everything kind of preaching. And Bishop Jordan is following in those footsteps, whether he wants to admit it or not. And um his theory is that brick and mortar churches are going by the wayside, and that online is the way to go. And he is trying to gather content creators that he likes to sort of form a consortium of sorts, and wants to offer his expertise on doing ministry online. I will say, as an aside, I did catch William McRae's live, a little of his live. I caught the replay, I should say, from the convocation the other night, and I honestly was expecting like a comedy show. William McRae is known for, telling tales, and but he's funny. He's funny. I'll give him. I'm not a fan, but I will give him credit where it's due. He is funny, and that's what I was expecting. But when I'm watching the replay, and the first, I would say at least maybe an hour and a half of it was Bishop Jordan talking to William McRae about what he wants to do in the future, and asking people to give William seeds to help pay his expenses. And I'm like, okay, when are we gonna get to the funny stuff? When are we gonna get to why there was a live studio audience? Because I didn't hear a lot of laughing in the background. And he didn't really get to do what he's known for, which is be funny. So I was a little like, okay. I mean, I hate to say it this way, but basically Bishop Jordan monopolized Williams' live get together. And I didn't think personally, I didn't think that was cool, but hey, it is what it is. So you have that side of the coin. And then, of course, during the convocation, some of these preachers and pastors were complaining about content creators, talking about these content creators. They're out to get us. They want to destroy our church. They're talking mad crap about us. And all they do is expose. And basically, if you guys weren't doing bad crap, there wouldn't be anything for these content creators to talk about. And which is why mad church disease um is he's one of the ones that are sounding the alarm about that kind of attitude. So, and also mad church disease is not a fan of Bishop Jordan's. um he I'm paraphrasing, but he's already spoken for himself, but I'm basically paraphrasing here. It's Mad Church Disease and a couple of other people basically feel like Bishop Jordan's just trying to gather content creators that are favorable to them, and in order to expand his online audience and therefore get more money offering offering prophecies and getting paid for it. So I'm kind of on the mad church disease kind of thing. I'm leaning that way. Um, as an audience member, I want to be entertained. I mean, that's what I'm on. I go to YouTube for my entertainment. I don't want to, watch one of my favorite creators and then, 2 hours of send us a seed and get a prophecy. No, give me some other discussion. Give me something else to talk about. So I'm with Mad Church Disease on that front. So yeah, there was a lot of there's been a lot of crash outs on both sides. Between Thanos having his meltdown and the other content creators, everyone's picking up on it. Everyone was talking about it. And then, of course, um, as I understand it, Thanos is no longer talking to William McRae, or they're talking very little. Thais is still speaking with William McRae. He did send him some support on his live program the other night. But he's just kind of. I think honestly, just this is just me, but I think that Thais is just sporadically supporting people just to see what they say and to basically acknowledge that he's watching different programs just to gather information. That's pretty much it. um so so at the moment we have the gathering of creators, backed by Bishop Jordan, and then the creators are evil, which which was brought forth during the Kojic convocation. And the COVID convocation had its own drama all by itself, and that's a whole different story for a whole different day. And everyone's been talking about it, so just cruise the YouTube streets, and you'll be able to get the down low. So, what we need to consider, there's some questions as just a humble member of the audience. Um, will this YouTube consolidation, um, creator gathering, um, gentrification, will it affect the brick and mortar church? No, I don't think so. I think brick and mortar churches, and I've said this before, there is a place for brick and mortar churches. Not everybody is on YouTube. There are still people who want to worship in person and that sense of community. So I don't think the brick and mortar church is going anywhere. Will it change YouTube? Maybe, maybe not. If this gentrification of the church sector, basically becoming an arm of Bishop Jordan's, maybe it might create a new niche. But there's so much out there on YouTube. I don't think it's going to change that much. Um, will the gentrification or consolidating the content creators under the Bishop Jordan's umbrella help creators with their gain more income? Maybe. Some content creators will now be exposed to those who are subscribed to Bishop Jordan Prophet Manasseh, and vice versa. Um, Maybe it will help the income. Maybe the super chats will start flowing a little bit. It might do that short term, maybe long term. Who's to say? Um, I don't feel personally, I just have a funny feeling. Maybe it's just me consolidating under the Zoe Ministries, or under Bishop Jordan's tutelage could end up in some kind of arrangement where every other creator's episode is something to do with Bishop Jordan offering prophecies for a super chat or a seed. I saw that happen with Williams live show last night. Like I said, it was over an hour of Bishop Jordan talking to William and telling the audience to give him seeds and stuff like that. So that could be something that happens with other content creators, and as someone in the audience, that would kind of, for me, that would be a turn off. And the other thing to consider, if this consolidation or gentrification, um, is this truly some kind of creator hub? Is it really um, an attempt to expand possibly audience reach, or is it simply a way to control what's discussed? um will there be contracts where the content creators have to say, well, we have to have at least one show, two shows a month have to be selling prophecies, or we can't we have to agree not to discuss um, not to discuss anything to do with Zoe Ministries or Bishop Jordan or Manasseh, unless it's a show, an episode of a show on on the channel that they're running, aka a way to basically control the narrative. Um, if you join this consortium of content creators under his tutelage, um, are you going to end up restricted in what you can talk about? Will you be allowed as a content creator to truly be yourself? Or are you obligated to keep things favorable to Bishop Jordan and Zoe Ministries? Those are just things to consider. I'm not against anybody trying to improve their channel. I'm not against anybody trying to find a way to change things up and make your channel, make your episodes more interesting. That's not, I'm not hating on that at all. But you have to consider, somebody comes in and wants to be your benefactor and says, I can help you reach more people, and I want to gather a group of you and make things better, but if I'm going to be backing you, then this is what I need from you in return. And then you got to look at the fine print. That's all I'm saying. Just look at the fine print. So those are the things that, as somebody from the outside looking in, those are some of the things um that I've been thinking about, and that have kind of popped up in my head, and I'm kind of leaning towards what Mad Church Disease is saying, cuz what he's talking about sounds pretty much what I was thinking. So, as always, I am not a YouTube theologian. Y'all know who I follow. Y'all know who I recommend. So please go to those channels and check them out. Um, But again, this is stuff that we need to think about. And the crash outs are still continuing, not as strong as before, but the Kojic the Kojic convocation had some very interesting drama, and I would strongly suggest, if that's what you're looking for, then type in Kojic convocation 2025, and just feast upon what pops up in the search bar. So, with that being said, as always, thank you for watching. Very much appreciated. Likes are free, sharing is caring. Subscribers are always welcome and appreciated. Questions, hit me in the comments. Send me something through Instagram if you are so inclined, and I will do my best to answer. I hope this was helpful. It's just, some bare bones background. But if you've been going through and seeing all these different videos about Thanos and Thais and Mad Church Disease and St. James and the Jordans, this hopefully will give you an idea of what's going on. So, as always, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate you. I hope to be live soon with my main show, Beat and Chat. And I'll catch you all on the next one. Have a great night.